I'm a little bit pumped for this review. Today I'm going to be talking about a perfume from Hiram Green, independent perfumer based in the Netherlands, and this is his latest release. I don't think he might have released something else, but this was released in 2024. I mentioned it in my previous video as one of the 2024 releases that I really enjoyed this year. And apparently I've been pronouncing the name of this perfume incorrectly. When I Googled how this perfume should be pronounced, it's actually Philtre instead of Philtre, like me trying to be a fancy French-speaking person. It is actually Philtre, and I stand to be corrected by Hiram himself if that is the case, but Google tells me that's how it's pronounced, because the name Philtre is actually the name given to fictional love potions that you might find as a little plot device in stories like Tristan and Isolde and Titania taking a love potion in A Midsummer Night's Dream. I know that because this was in fact the inspiration of this perfume based on the copy on Hiram Green's website. So it's essentially inspired by a love potion, and the main notes or the main representative, the main embodiment of this perfume is Carnation, and Carnation also symbolizes one of the symbols of Carnation is love, and it represents that. I want to do something different because normally I would try and do a review of a single perfume by discussing top notes, middle notes, base notes, very standard procedure when it comes to describing perfumes. But I'm going to separate the aspects of Philtre into three distinct parts, because I think it's the three parts that really make this perfume what it is. Now, I mentioned Carnation. So if you are not a lover of spicy and floral perfumes, particularly Carnation floral, then it's probably best to look away, because I'm not sure what you might smell in this that will change your mind. Although, I would encourage everyone to smell everything. So I'm going to spray this on. I have the dry down on this hand from about 7 hours ago. So it's still very, very detectable. And what I'll talk about first is the green aspect of this perfume. Now, I didn't really notice this until today, really, when I was smelling it and thinking about what I was smelling. And there is definitely this green aspect, and I'll try and describe that in a little bit more detail, but it's all bundled together, okay? So I don't get a real bunch of development where I would smell mostly top notes, then middle notes, and then base notes, because for me, this perfume is relatively linear in the way it reacts on my skin. The green really reminds me of buying a bunch of carnations, and instead of actually just smelling the flowers and the petals of the carnations, you're holding like a foot-long bunch of stems, and you're smelling that green stemmy material along with the floral aspects of the petals and what they normally would smell of. And it's kind of it's strange because it really reminds me of that green of flowers in a vase, and mixing in with that vase water after a couple of days, it all kind of sort of absorbs into that water, and it not in a off-putting kind of way where something really goes stale. This is This is a real lovely merging of the more indolic, spicy aspects of a flower and its green, young, verdant aspect of growing into a flower before they bud. And that green is mainly noticeable right in the opening. The next aspect that I want to talk about is the spice. Now, I recently have been on a little bit of a carnation kick and smelled a lot. And what I've noticed about this one is it's spicy. Now, normally carnation as a soliflor is spicy in its nature, and a lot of that spice would come from the eugenol compound that's found in carnation. It's also found in clove, and that's why you would find a lot of carnation perfumes also have the note of clove in there, and that we are talking just note pyramids, but you'll find that clove and carnation sort of go hand in hand. So this kind of sparked my interest a little bit, and I wanted to, I guess, do an experiment. In this jar here, I have a bunch of whole cloves. Just so you believe me, I'll try and show you one if I can get it out. So I have a clove in my hand there. So this jar is full of them. And what I like to do occasionally when there is a perfume that's got a particular ingredient in it that is normally found in the kitchen, for instance, a lot of spices you have in the kitchen that are used, replicated in perfumes. I like to smell the actual spice and then immediately smell the perfume just to get what is different and what's missing in the perfume, or what the perfume also has that I'm not getting from the spice. And it was really interesting because when I smell a big jar of cloves, there is this amazing, pungent, almost umami kind of character about it. It's almost meaty when I smell it. And I know that I've mentioned when I've smelled clove in perfumes before, there's also this fruity aspect. But when I'm smelling real cloves in a jar, it's definitely this kind of pungent umami smell. And then when I smell the perfume Philtre, that part of the clove is definitely not there. The spice that I'm getting is more of a kind of hot spice, more akin to black pepper. That, again, is stronger right at the opening as well. And what I like about the way the spices are used here is that it really offsets the floral aspect, which is the third part of the perfume that I want to talk about. It offsets it in that there's this kind of Jekyll and Hyde thing going on between the spices, who is Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, or maybe Beauty and the Beast is a better metaphor to use. And the beauty is those florals. Yes, carnation. There is also a great velvety texture to this floral note, which I think is coming from rose, although I really love that this perfume gives off the texture of rose without smelling of rose. And then there's even some kind of indolic facet of it that could be coming from a white floral that just gives the whole floral accord in this perfume a real multifaceted character. But make no mistake, it is unashamedly, first and foremost, a carnation floral accord, but it's ably supported. So I suspect if I went and got a bunch of carnations, I'm not going to smell the same floral accord that I'm smelling in this perfume, which is kind of really the whole point of perfumery, really. I don't see what why you would want to replicate something exactly as it is in nature. So it's using all the lovely isolated aspects of different floral notes. And then those three, the green, the spice, and the floral, are the three main characters of this perfume. And what I really like about Philtre is that with a lot of Carnation perfumes, there is Carnation, but it's kind of an ensemble, part of an ensemble. In the best kind of example I can give you of what I'm trying to convey here is, so here's a couple of Carnation perfumes I'm very familiar with. There is Tabac Blonde by Caron, and now that is a Carnation floral note, but it's kind of all about the vanilla and the sweetish tobacco that is in there as well. And so this doesn't have that sweetness of Tabac Blonde. Then I've got something like Guerlain's Derby, which is Carnation placed in the middle of a leather chypre composition, and that one is kind of a scratchy Carnation. It doesn't have the body that you get with a more resinous base, but that's kind of what it's supposed to be. But what I like about Philtre is it's the whole full-bodied Carnation experience. And I don't know if I can really say much more about how it smells. The spiciness wears off. It gets to the base. It remains floral all the way through. There is the base is kind of I guess the best way to describe it is resinous, but it's almost like a smear of resin rather than a big fat bed of ambery accords. It's just there to give that 90% floral accord a platform to sit on. And I like it. I like that it doesn't get sweet in the way that perfumes like Tabac Blonde can get. But I also love that it's lush and smooth and velvety in a way that something like Derby is not either. So Sillage is pretty good because, like, I only sprayed this on my hands today, and I didn't have to bring them up close to my face. Just walking around, it was making waves of scent around me. Longevity is, well, so far we're going 8 hours, albeit not strong, but I can still smell it easily. And Hiram Green only uses natural ingredients in his perfumes. He's a natural perfumer, so there are no synthetic aroma chemicals used in these perfumes. And it's really, really impressive the way that he can create these perfumes, because I've smelled quite a few of them now, and I've got a discovery set. I should do a whole sort of discovery video on the brand. And he can really give them an identity in the way a lot of other natural perfume brands become muddled and opaque and really smell of nothing to me. I hope that I've kept this review under 10 minutes just to prove that you can review a perfume under 10 minutes. If not, I'm sorry, I apologize. Please sample it if you're a Carnation lover, because it may just well be your Carnation holy grail. I like this one more and more each time I wear it, and I can definitely see myself with a bottle in the near future. Thank you for watching as always. It's lovely to see you, and I will catch you later. Bye.